As if things weren't a tinderbox already, Fox News propagandist Tucker Carlson is now suggesting a real insurrection on his program. Now, the term real insurrection is, of course, Tucker playing coy with the January 6th Trump riots. Tucker and others claim that January 6th was not really an insurrection. And when they say that, it's never totally clear if they mean it's not really an insurrection because it failed, or it's not an insurrection because it wasn't really meant to be an insurrection. In any case, we've talked before about stochastic terrorism and this idea that with a large enough audience, even subtly, if you put an idea into people's minds, someone becomes likely to go and actually do the thing. If you subtly put the idea in an audience of 100 people to go and kill someone, it's not super likely that someone's really going to do it. But if your audience is 1,000 or 10,000 or 1 million or 10 million, once it gets to be a large audience, that subtle idea becomes more and more likely to actually influence someone in the crowd to do and go and do the thing you're subtly suggesting they do. In this clip, Tucker's not even floating the idea subtly. He's just saying, why don't we have a real insurrection? And why does he want one? Well, because of misstatements that his guest, the mayor of Uvade, Texas, Don McLaughlin, tells about immigration. These are lies about immigration, and it makes Tucker say, what about a real insurrection over this? Take a look.
That the people coming north from Latin America, Central America, in a lot of cases, are aware that there's a new administration in the United States and the policies are different?
Oh, most definitely. They're telegraphing it down there. When you see T-shirts with people say, Biden let me in, Biden let me in, they're all over. I mean, it's telegraphed back down there. One of them comes over and they'll tell you. As soon as I get over and get through, I'm calling back home and I'm telling 10 more to come that I got in. Come on. We're sending a message that, hey, the border's open. Come on in. Do what you want. I mean, why aren't we enforcing the laws that are on the book, that are already on the book that says you can't cross that border illegally or whatever? But yet we're going to reward you with putting you in a nice hotel or give you a $1,400 Visa card, debit card that you can use while you're here in the States, till you get established or whatever. And how many times do they replenish it?
What do you mean, give a $14 Visa debit card?
I haven't been able to confirm this yet, but I have told that they're giving you, these immigrant families, they're in these hotels, they're giving them a $1,400 Visa card that they can.
Why don't we have a real insurrection at some point? Like, why would we put up with this?
Well, in my opinion, you're closer than you've ever been in our country of getting to that. I think we're closer.
Well, I feel closer to that. I mean, this is absolutely, it's beyond insulting. It's oppressing the population.
So there's a lot there. Now, before we get into the really crazy part from Tucker, Don McLaughlin there, the mayor of Uvade, Texas, said illegal aliens are getting $1,400. This is related to the stimulus package. That the number 1,400 is not a coincidence. 1,400 was what was in the Biden stimulus package. The claim they make is undocumented immigrants are getting $1,400 stimulus checks. It's not true. If an immigrant is here illegally, they won't have a social security number, which you need to have in order to get a stimulus check. Biden's COVID-19 relief package excludes most immigrants who are not in the United States legally from getting stimulus checks. The relief packages during the Trump era did the same thing. It's the same. There's no difference. Only non-citizens who are here authorized to work, who can get a social security number, can get the stimulus. However, according to some in the Associated Press, some people who entered the U.S. on valid temporary working visas, which makes them eligible for a social, if they overstayed, they might accidentally get the $1,400. This is a tiny number of people, and it's a distraction. And the idea that just any old undocumented immigrant is getting $1,400 is completely wrong. It's been widely debunked. But let's get to the really wacky part, this real insurrection that Tucker Carlson wants. This is very dangerous. Now, I am very close to a free speech absolutist. And what I mean by that is I believe any speech that is not actually illegal is legal and thus should be allowed, period. Is that legal? That's a call for violence. It's a real call for violence. It's a clear call for violence. It's not subtle. It's not using coded language. This type of thing is the actually illiberal, anti-democratic, authoritarian threat that we've been talking about. What? Immigrants get $1,400? I don't even know if that's true, but what about a real insurrection? Yes, let's do it. Why not? Right? And then you go back to those claims made in court by some of the Trump rioters from January 6th. Fox News made me do it, Your Honor. Sir, my client was suffering from Foxitis and Foxmania and Fox dementia. It's not really their fault. And as outrageous as we've been saying it is for the party of personal responsibility to say that thing I did, it was Trump and Fox's fault. Well, no, you deserve to be held accountable. But then when Tucker says, how about a real insurrection, you genuinely are starting to muddy it up and make it even more complex to apportion blame and responsibility. Now, one last thing. If such an insurrection happened thanks to Tucker Carlson's not going to be on the front lines leading it. You understand that, right? Tucker will be at his country club or at his vacation home. Tucker is like Trump in that they both value their viewers and supporters respectively as far as they are useful to them. But these people, the people that voted for Trump, donated to Trump, rioted for Trump on January 6th, the people that watch Tucker and would be likely to do what he says when he says, what about a real insurrection? These are the people that Tucker, like Trump, spent their lives trying to stay away from and be isolated from. They don't care about those people beyond their immediate utility, either for ratings or buying Tucker's book. Has Tucker written a book? I don't know. Or voting for Trump or donating to Trump or whatever the case may be. And in that way, Tucker and Trump are actually very similar. They're disgusted by their followers. They have disdain for their followers, but they understand that these are the people that ultimately are responsible for writing the checks that keep them in power or whatever the case may be. Disgusting stuff. And almost as disgusting as this next thing we're going to look at. One of our sponsors is Four Sigmatic, the company best known for their delicious mushroom coffee. Four Sigmatic's mushroom coffee is organic, fair trade, single origin Arabica coffee with both lion's mane and chaga mushrooms. Chaga mushrooms have actually been shown to have potential in supporting the immune system in peer-reviewed studies. I've been drinking Four Sigmatic coffee a lot lately. It actually doesn't taste anything like mushrooms. It just tastes like any delicious coffee, but it's really easy on my stomach, doesn't give me any jittery feeling or a midday crash. And they have over 20,000 five-star reviews. And best of all, if you don't love it, you'll get 100% of your money back because they stand behind their product. You've got nothing to lose by giving it a try. Four Sigmatic is giving my audience up to 40% off and free shipping when you go to foursigmatic.com/Pakman. The link is right underneath this video.